So we're here once again, obviously, to discuss the results from the voting for the three nominees, and we've got the whole committee here with us. And Beth, Sam from the Paddler wasn't able to join, obviously fairly late for him as well in Sydney. It's been a most amazing response. Unbelievably, there was around 3,000 votes, which is incredible, which says a lot for Joe's legacy and the importance of this award amongst the surfski, the international surfski community. So that's wonderful that we've had such great participation, and it also speaks to the quality of the nominees as well, and that obviously really encouraged people to get down and vote. So we won't delay much longer, but because I'm sure everybody's keen to find out who the winner is. David's just going to say a few words about each of the nominees, because what we're trying to really impress here as well is that just to be a nominee for this award is a big deal. Winning the award is one thing, but getting nominated is equally as important. So David's going to say a few words about the nominees themselves. Over to you, David.
Yeah, look, thanks, Bruce. I just wanted to, in our communication with you, Bruce, wanted to make a point that by default being nominated for the award by us as a committee means that the people that we've nominated, we've really valued their input into the sport. The reason for the award is for outstanding achievement and dedication, commitment to the sport of surfski paddling. And this is not necessarily an athletic achievement. It's got to do with what you've brought to the sport. So I just wanted to make a point that obviously there's someone that ultimately the award's going to go to, and whoever that award goes to is going to be it's well deserved without a shadow of a doubt. However, the other two people that were nominated, just because they were nominated means that we value their input into our sport. So I just wanted to start with Billy. A lot of people that might have voted for Billy wouldn't necessarily have been around the sport when he made his biggest contribution, which is running the first real sort of series with big sponsors, and really growing the sport from that point of view. So I just want to acknowledge that Billy really brought an ignition to the sport by what he did in South Africa, and then obviously that knock-on effect. And we could say that the sport's developed because of that sort of ignition moment. Obviously there were things that happened before then, but I think he was the first guy that had this open door policy. You don't have to be a lifeguard to come and do the surfski race. You don't bring your surfski, come and do a race. Got sponsors involved, had a series, and it really went from strength to strength there. So I just wanted to acknowledge that Billy did so much. He continues to do a lot behind the scenes now. But yeah, certainly, I think that sort of culminated in having that first World Cup. I don't know if I think Dean and Oscar will agree on that as well, and Michelle, that first World Cup was quite a momentous thing to have happened in Cape Town. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And then also just wanted to say that Greg, so at least from 2004, 2005 onwards, has been so involved. There's a good part of that decade between 2004, 2014, and even now, the last few years, where his storytelling on the productions has really brought the sport to that level where people can go onto YouTube and watch what happened and be part of an event. And it's sure he's providing a service that he gets paid for, but it's for what you get for what he gets paid for, what you get, the output is you can't really count it's massive. And just wanted to acknowledge that's a very big contribution to our sport. So, then obviously there's Greg telling the story. There's what Billy did in Ignition Moment, and then Dean. I know this might be a little bit awkward for you. You sitting here on the panel, but having then taken what was a ceiling and made that your platform and taken the sport to a whole new level, it certainly has. I don't know if it's even possible to articulate what that's done for our small sport. So I don't know if anyone else, you guys can nod your heads if you agree with me, but I'm sure you do. That is a massive contribution to our sport. So I just wanted to start off by acknowledging, all of the nominees, and that every single one of them has contributed to us to our sport. Bruce, should I carry on, or should we ask for a few comments?
If anybody would like to comment about any of the three nominees or all of them, please just go ahead for a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Anyone else would like to make a comment?
I'd just like to say, Billy started off and it was hard those days with the difference between RCF and surf lifesaving, and he fought that battle and won, and it grew from strength to strength because of his enthusiasm. And let me tell you, in any sport, it just takes one person to be enthusiastic, like the Greg Kidder. And believe me, Greg Kidder probably doesn't even make any money out of half of his productions, and he's flying there middle of the night doing edits, Dean all over the loading boats at all times of the night and then racing the next day. So these three individuals have done so much for the sport, and that's what the sport needs. You need these people in every sport that shows enthusiasm and just really loves the sport and does it for the love of the sport. And I think that's something we've got to really put it out there, that this is what these three guys do. They love it. They do it for the love and not for the thousands and millions of dollars that you can make like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, we do have a winner, and so we'll review. David, would you like to reveal the winner?
So on behalf of, and I know that Sam's probably going to be playing this on the Paddler website, so I'm just going to do a bit more of a formal announcement. On behalf of the over 3,000 surfski paddlers that voted and put pen to paper for who they feel deserves to be the winner of the Joe Glickman Award for their contribution to the sport of surfski paddling, I would like to congratulate the man of the moment, Mr. Dean Gardiner, on walking away with the Joe Glickman Award for 2021 and 2022.
Congratulations, Dean.
Round of applause for the man.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's what a very prestigious honour to have thrown on us, and I'm sure, Oscar, you felt the same last year when we got together and made that decision as well. I feel a little bit weird that I'm actually on the panel, to be quite honest, and it's very, very difficult for me to sort of be involved with the panel and actually accept the award. But thank you, guys. I want to thank all the people that voted, of course. And I actually was one of the people that nominated one of the other people that were the three people nominated. So I want to thank the other two people that were nominated too, because as you guys said, without their contribution, it wouldn't be where it is. And I think what Bruce and David has said is that every little person plays their part along the way, and it was just very fortunate that I sort of have been involved in the sport when it's at a really, really good period of time. So I'm very, very lucky, and we've got great support here in Australia with our sponsors through Shore and Partners and the other big sponsors that help the sport here in Australia. And I think that takes it across the whole world as well. It actually helps, you know, if it's going very, very well somewhere, it generally flows on to the other places in the world as well. So we hope that's the result of what's going on here. Beth, how stoked I am to have Joe's name on a trophy that I'm involved with. So, you know, I really love that guy, and he's sadly missed by all of us. And I'm just stoked to be part of this whole thing. So thank you.
Right. Well, as for Oscar as well, Dean, I'm hoping you'll be able to hold this trophy one day. It's pretty heavy as I'm holding it up here, but one day I was just talking to my wife a moment ago about how I'm going to be able to package this so that it can be safely transported around the world, because it's pretty heavy and made of glass. But one day all of you will be able to handle it and just realize what it means by holding it in your hand and reading the inscription on here on the trophy. So
yeah, well, I hope to be able to do that.
Yeah, congratulations, Dean, and all the best, and congratulations to Billy and Greg for being nominated. Billy and Greg will also be presented with a plaque for their nomination, which they can display as well in their homes. So we'll show those to the world as soon as we can. Thank you also to the amazing 3,000 people who made the effort and took the time to vote. It's an incredible response, and hopefully it'll just go from strength to strength every year.
And Bruce, I just want to say thank you to you for coordinating this whole thing, and from behalf of the committee, what an awesome job you've done. And you know, to have 3,000 responses, I think, is an indication of what you've created here. So well done. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, this is all going to be revealed tomorrow. We'll unless anybody wants to say anything else, Beth, if you'd like to say a few words. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up, and this will be replayed tomorrow on the Paddler, so that all those who voted can and see the result, hear the result.
Sure, I'll just pipe in with a couple words on behalf of Joe. So Dean, obviously, you along with Oscar are like Joe's godfathers in paddling, and I think it was on the Finlandia Challenge way back then, which was maybe about the second time he'd been in a kayak. You were there, and I think what he sort of got from you was not only that you can be really serious about a sport, you can train hard, you can compete hard, but that it was ultimately about the fun and the fellowship. And I think Joe experienced that in the way that you approached the sport, and he wanted more of that. And I think you're a huge part of why he fell in love with paddling and became what he was in the sport. So he would be delighted with this choice.
Thanks, Beth. Thank you very much. It was definitely a great period of our lives, that's for sure. I remember it very well.
Bruce, let me just add.
We'll be revealing, sorry, Jim. We'll be revealing. Carry on, Jim, sorry.
I just want to add, when I first started becoming friends with Joe, and I used to go to his apartment in Brooklyn, and he starts telling stories about Surfski World, he used to talk about Dean like he's Superman. But as much as just admiring the athletic achievements of Dean, he really embellished the humor, the compassion, the support that Dean always exhibited. And he talked about him like he was not only a great friend, but a god and an incredible Marvel's character athlete. But I really wish Joe would be here just to see Dean's mustache. What Joe would do with your mustache right now in words and in
you don't want to know.
We miss that humor so much. So thank you for providing that, Dean.
Michelle, have you got any Dean stories?
Well, I think it takes all parts of the puzzle to succeed at our sport, right? We need development, we need media, we need event organizers, we need boat manufacturers, we need people to sell the boats, we need passionate paddlers more than anything. So, memories of Dean, I mean, we've seen each other at races all over the world, the downwind guy, the legend himself. So I'm really excited that you won, Dean. This is really cool what you've done, Bruce, and the fact that we're getting so much interest. Our tiny little sport is growing. So thanks for putting it all together, and congrats, Dean. And like Oscar was saying, it's all about passion, and if we were doing it for the money, then we would still be 5 people doing little laps around a course. So seeing our sport grow like this is just phenomenal. You know, from early days when Billy was putting those races together, and we just see that, you know, so many numbers, to it being an international ICF event, which, you know, gives it credibility at a world stage, and then seeing all these massive events that you're putting on, Dean, it's phenomenal. Like, so excited about where we're still going to go.
Thanks.
I've got one story, actually, a number of years ago for the Dragon Run, and at the time I was the Fen dealer in Hong Kong, and it was a collaboration with Dean at the time. So I would get boats from Dean, and we'd send a container up to Hong Kong, unpack it in Hong Kong, and then after the race repack and send them back down to Australia when the doctor was just a couple of weeks after the Dragon Run. And that particular week when the container was arriving, I was out of town working, and so I picked up the phone to Dean. I said, Dean, I have to work at the last minute. I'm going to be out of town. He said, Dean's reply was, no problem. I'll just fly up to Hong Kong. And Dean climbed on a plane that night, flew to Hong Kong, unloaded the container, and flew back. Quite incredible. So amazing.